Mohammed, can you read the next example? What is our next sentence?
Engrossed.
Engrossed. Engrossed. Do you know that word, engrossed? Have you seen that before?
No.
Okay, that's a pretty fancy word. That's a pretty advanced word. You can use it in contemporary English, but it's more advanced. It means concentrating very much. Concentrating so you can't see, you don't know what else is happening. Did you ever have the experience of maybe reading a book and you're so interested in the book, you don't notice somebody else is coming into the room and they say, "Hey, Mohammed," and you say, "Ah," right? Did that ever happen to you?
Yes.
Okay, that's being engrossed in something. Something takes all of your attention. Do you understand that word?
Yes.
Pachu, have you seen that word before?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so you understand what it means? You've seen it before?
Mm, not really, but I think gross has also meaning like when we do math or account, we say gross means total or something.
Yeah, well, gross is a French word which kind of means big.
Yeah.
So, like the big total, the gross total, like including
Yes.
everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's really what it means. But engrossed, maybe you could think that means, I don't know if this is true, but maybe it's a good way of thinking about it. Something is so big it takes all of your attention.
Yes.
So maybe
Yes.
I don't know if that's
Yes. Yes.
the real meaning, but that could be a way of thinking about it. Can you read the sentence, Pachu? What does it say?
He became engrossed in the video game for hours.
Okay. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand what that means?
Yeah. So, can we say engrossed means when a bigger picture and got attention like this?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question, Pachu?
Can we say here the engrossed means in bigger picture and that caught or got attention?
Yeah, think of it. I think the best way to think of it is something takes all of your attention.
Yeah.
Maya says, I wouldn't understand visits his with the omitted H. It's challenging to get fluent speech when some sounds are left out. Yes, but that's the whole thing. The whole thing, the first thing that we do is we find that because English does a big, small, big, small, big, small rhythm. And words like his are usually part of the small part. So you don't fully pronounce or fully hear some of the words in the small part, in the little valleys. The big ones we hear, and the little ones we don't hear. So that's part of what we do. We're finding the rhythm, the big, small rhythm. Okay, Mohammed, can you read the first three words of that sentence? He became engrossed. Can you read that?
He became engrossed.
And what would you say is the biggest word or the most important word in that phrase?
Engrossed.
Engrossed. Where's the big sound in that word? Engrossed.
Roast.
Grossed. 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 Okay. So this is Maya, this is what we're talking about here. There's just one important word in that phrase, and the other words become very small. So, Mohammed, how will you say those three words together?
He became engrossed.
So that he became N becomes like one little word. He became en. He became engrossed. And the only thing you really hear clearly is grossed. He became engrossed. Can you say that again, Mohammed?
He became engrossed.
Okay. Pachu, can you say that phrase? He became engrossed.
He became engrossed
Hmm. What are the next four words, Pachu?
in the video game.
Okay. Can you say that phrase again, video game?
In the video game.
Oh,
Video game.
okay, is it gim or game? Great.
Okay, so the, the video game.
It's a big
Video
sound.
game.
It's a big sound. Game. Game.
A game.
All right.
Game.
What is the most important word in that phrase?
Is it video?
Video. Video. Okay.
Video.
Yeah, one because it's an adjective, but also because it's the first word in a two-word phrase. Uh, Pachu, which syllable has all of the focus on that word? Video.
Vid.
Video. Right. So it's vid. Okay. So we'll make that really big. Okay. So how will these four words sound together, Pachu, in the video game? How does that sound?
So in the video game,
In the video game. In the video game.
in the video game,
Uh-huh. So he became engrossed in the video game.
he became engrossed in the video game.
Game. You got to put that E in there. Game.
Uh,
Game.
he became engrossed in the video game.
That's better. That was very clear. Mohammed, can you say that? In the video game.
In the video game.
Okay. Can you say the whole phrase? He became engrossed in the video game.
He became engrossed in the video game.
Okay. Mohammed, what are the final two words in that phrase?
For hours.
Okay. There are two words. Can you say the two words again, please?
For hours.
Which word is more important, for or hours?
Hours.
Okay. Hours. Hours. Make it longer. Hours.
For hours.
How many sounds? Ah, ooh, Hour. Hours.
Hours.
For hours.
For hours.
He became engrossed in the video game for hours.
He became engrossed in the video game for hours.
Pachu, can you say that? For hours. For hours.
For hours. For hours.
He became engrossed in the video game for hours.
He became engrossed in the video game for hours.
Okay, that's right. Mohammed, can you make a, let's see, what take all of his attention question? How would you make a what take all of his attention question?
What does it what does take? What does it take all of his attentions of all his attention for hours?
You know, now we come up to a funny problem here because let's see. The video game took all of his time. I'm going to use another word instead of attention for a moment. Okay. Mohammed, can you see this question that I have here, or this sentence? The video game took all of his time.
Yes.
Okay. Now there's a I'm sorry, because somebody's making some noise. It's a little bit distracting. Somebody's making like a banging noise. It's a little bit hard to concentrate with that. There's okay, Mohammed. There's a subject and an object in this sentence. Can you identify the object?
His all of his time.
Okay, all of his time. All of his time. This is the object. The video game took all of his time. Okay. So if we wanted to make a question, How would you make a yes no question? Can you ask a yes no question?
Does a video game did the video game take all of his time?
Did the video game take all of his time? Okay, so that's right. This is the basic question form. You see, we've got did the video game take? Did take. This is the question form. And if you want to make a what question, if you want to make a what question, and we're asking about this, okay, what we want to know is does this have a strike through? I'll just make this gray. If we want to make a what object question, how would you do that?
What did take all of his time?
Well, we're asking about all of his time. Okay, we're asking about the object. So we would say, what did the video take? You see that?
Yes.
We're asking about the object. I know it's a little bit confusing. This always confuses people. But look, we have the question form. We have the question form here. Okay. What did.
May I say what took all his time?
See, this is. Yes. Okay, this is what I want. What subject question? This is different. This is what I'm trying to show you right now. Okay. If we take that same sentence, the video game took all of his time. The video game took all of his time. What is the object?
Time.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. What is the subject? What is the
video game?
The video game. The video game. Okay. So, if you make a what subject question, I better make this big and also this big for a moment just to show this. This is a very confusing thing about English. If your question is about the subject, the way you make the question is very different. Can you see what I've put here? Let's see.
It's behind the logo.
Okay, I'll raise it up in a minute. Let me just fix this. Okay. Oh, wait. Can you see? So when you're making an object question, you have to use the question form. Did the video game take? What did the video game take? But if you're doing a subject question, you don't have to do anything. You just put what in front. What took all of his time? Do you see that? Can you see?
Yes. What the video game took
Yeah,
all of
but
his time.
yeah, no more video game though, because we're using what. What took all of his time?
We we the question is about the object.
No, the question is
What
about
did the video
the question is about the subject. So no question form. Just what took all of his time?
what took all of his time? Yes.
Yeah, you see? So there's no question form. There's no do. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So that's our question. What took all of his time? Can you what is the most important?
What
Go ahead.
what is the most important word?
I'm sorry, what?
What is the most important word?
Oh, what is the most
First word.
Okay.
What?
So how will you say that? What took? What took?
What took all of his time?
What are the other important words in your question? Is what the only important word?
took
Okay. Do you see any adjectives?
to all of his time.
All. So let's do all of his. All of his. All of his.
All of his.
What took
Oh,
what took
what
all of
took
his hmm
what took all of his time.
time and probably time also. What took all of his time?
What took all of his time.
What took all of his time? Pachu, can you say
What
that?
took all of his time.
That's right.
Okay. What took all of his time?
Okay, but what is the most important word in your question, do you think?
Is what?
So how will you pronounce what plus took? What took?
What took?
Okay, what is the
What
next
took?
important word?
Uh, all.
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 So what took all?
What took all?
Oh, okay, what took? What took? Took is small. What took?
What? What took? What took?
What took all of his time?
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 Okay, and what is the answer?
The video game took all of his time.
Okay. Uh, or you can say he became engrossed. Let's practice using engrossed. He became engrossed in the video game for hours.
He became engrossed in the video game for hours.
Mohammed, what took all of his time?
He became engrossed in the video game for hours.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to do intonation with that. Oh well. I just have to take a 1 minute break. I'll be right back.